Good morning, everyone. Welcome to World Mental Health Day. I'm Kayla Huzar, and I thought I would just pop on here and say a little bit about how things are going and to talk a little bit about how to process automatic negative thoughts. So, lately, I have been having some automatic thoughts. And so, what automatic thoughts are, once I was aware of what was happening, is they are images or like mental thoughts in response to a trigger. So a trigger, it doesn't have to be a bad trigger. For example, if it's raining and you're driving, your automatic thought is, I should be careful, I should turn on the wipers, I should slow down. Those are excellent safety negative thoughts, or automatic thoughts, pardon me. Automatic negative thoughts are when, let's say, a person who struggles with anxiety sees an acquaintance and that acquaintance is frowning in their general direction, and they immediately think, that person hates me, I've done something to piss them off, and like the thought just like starts with that trickle of like, oh, they're frowning at me, I must have done something wrong, to like down the rabbit hole to they hate me, I've done something wrong, I'm horrible, that kind of thought. So what, I'll give you my example lately, is that and a lot of postpartum moms think these things. So for example, my husband will be on his phone and I'll look over at him expecting him to be looking at me, but he's not. And my immediate negative thought is, he's not paying attention, he's not here with us, he's stressed, he's anxious, he's whatever. When I know nothing of the sort. None of that is factual, but that is my immediate first thought. It's the trigger in my mind, and it's something that I've been thinking a lot lately. And all of a sudden one day, I don't know why, but it just hit me, and it was like, these things are not true. You do not know that they're true. And if you want to know that they're true or false, you need to ask. So I'm going to give you some examples of some other, they're called ants, and they're called ants for a reason. Automatic negative thought. Ants are pesky, they're everywhere, everybody has them, and awareness is key. So automatic negative thought number one, black and white thinking. So using words like always, never, every time, all the time. Like I'm never gonna feel better in postpartum, or you're always on your phone, things like that. Automatic thought number two, focusing on the negative. So it means dismissing good and only focusing on the negative. So things like, someone comes up to you and says, oh, wow, this really great thing is happening. And the automatic negative thought could be, oh, but it's going to work out horribly. Or why would anybody ever want to do that? Because of X, Y, and Z. Automatic thought number three, fortune telling. So you know that a possible outcome will occur. So things like, don't do that, you will fall and hurt yourself. Don't do that, you will get a tummy ache. So it's knee-jerk reaction. That's not going to work. Something's going to go wrong, etc. Automatic thought number four. This is my favorite. Not favorite. Mind reading. So you know what the other person is thinking and their motivation for that. So mind reading. Also, mind reading could be the opposite, where you're assuming the other person knows what you're thinking. So in a conversation or in a situation like mine, where I'm assuming that my partner is not present, not being with us, not wanting to be there, or stressed or anxious, or using his phone for a coping mechanism, it's just simply not true. I'm assuming that. I'm trying to read his mind. And also the flip is that I'm expecting him to read mine. I'm expecting him to be present, to notice what I'm feeling, to ask me something, just simply by looking across the room. Number 5, thinking with your feelings. So instead of I feel stupid, I've done a stupid thing. I am a bad person. I've done a bad thing. So there's a difference there. And number 6, being ruled by shoulds. So this is another one for me that I've been working through lately. So there should have to's, should be doings. So it's feeling shame or guilt around, let's say, taking a rest in the afternoon when you should be doing something else. You have a ton of things on your to-do list that should be getting done right now. You should be able to get all of these things done in one day. And then you actually put that pressure on yourself. So labeling. So labeling is negative words such as fat, lazy, stupid, loser. All of those things are labels and they don't define who you are, but you can think them in an automatic thought like I'm such a loser for doing X, Y, and Z. And they can become a self-fulfilling prophecy because when you're thinking labeling, you're thinking negative thoughts, you actually create scenarios where those things might be true or they might not be true. They could be perceived as being true. Automatic thought number 8, taking things personally. So a coworker is grumpy probably because they have their own stuff going on and it has nothing to do with you. But thinking that it absolutely has something to do with you and you go to the nth degree to prove that it is or is not right, or you ruminate on it and it becomes like an intense triggering thought. Automatic thought number 9, blame. So you blame everybody, everything else for the things that are going on in your life without taking responsibility. So realizing that you are responsible for your actions and your thoughts and your attitudes, not anybody else. Nobody is going to change that. So what do we do with all of this? Maybe you found yourself in some of those scenarios. So there was 9 of them. Maybe you find yourself doing this and it's totally, you guys, these are normal. They're normal things. Everybody experiences them. So like I said in the beginning, first step, awareness. You just have to be aware that it's happening. So for me, it was like, oh my gosh, this is not true. These thoughts that I'm having about my partner, they're just not true. And then challenging them. So this is simply, is this thought true? Does this thought serve me right now? Is there another explanation or another way to look at this? Like the example with a coworker, like they're grumpy, people are allowed to be grumpy. That isn't about you. And so is there another explanation? Is there another way to look at this? And what would I say to someone who said this to me? So that's exactly what I walked myself through. And you can do this really quickly. Like you can do it on the fly. You can do it while it's happening. It's a really, really great thing to combat these automatic negative thoughts. So this isn't just like negative thinking per se. This is like those triggers that happen in a split second, and they happen, and they're just they could be true, but they're likely not true. And then we ruminate on them, and it can create stress and depression and more overwhelm in our lives. So some things that you can do to combat these automatic negative thoughts, you can write them down and walk through that process. Is this true? Is it serving me? Could there be another explanation? Identify that inner critic, and this is not coming from a conscious place. This is coming from a subconscious place. And third, color it out. So today I took some time to connect with my body. I did all of this with my eyes closed, and just picked some colors that I thought would represent some of these thoughts that are happening for me. And I just connected with my body, and I just colored, picked a color, opened my eyes, did another one. and I just let my thoughts flow, and I went through this process of, is it true? Is it serving me? And could there be another explanation? So that's what I'm leaving you with on World Mental Health Day, is how to combat our automatic negative thoughts. If you have any thoughts or comments or anything that you'd like to share with me after this video, please feel free to connect with me. And I guess I should introduce myself maybe. I am Kayla Huzar. I'm a registered social worker here in Regina, Saskatchewan, and I am doing therapy through expressive arts. So that's me. I have online and in-person offerings you can check out on the website. Thanks. Have a great day.